This is Faverolles, also known as a puppy too, male too.
Quick shake off. Hello. Okay, so what happened there is that initial pro-social, and then a moment of kind of common sense takes over, like, whoa, wait, you're a stranger. So first it was human, hi, and then it was, ooh, maybe not. But I don't dislike that reaction because it actually shows some common sense. Hi. Pretty quick approach after that. Hello. But easily overwhelmed. He hears his litter beats, that's what.
Could be also angry.
Yeah, he's not avoiding, it's because that crying intensified. Hey, baby. I love the looks they give you sometimes.
Yeah.
When I talked to him too soon, it was like, ugh.
Yeah, that Taylor's going, so
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm interested in you, but...
He's definitely interested. He just
But
needs
are
a
you
minute.
safe? Yeah.
Yeah. And he is very much asking, are you safe? And he's not sure. And every time I'm a little too forceful, which for him is practically anything right now, it's enough to shut him down. But I think with this puppy, you'd see something very different if he had his human, he had a safe base that he could retreat to rather than having to cope with this on his own. I think that would dramatically change that response.
And here it's the environment and the person and the lack of litter mates.
Yep. He has no litter mates. The litter mates crying spiked up for whatever reason right when he came in here. So that was an immediate negative thing that he was like, whoa, what, are they okay? What's wrong with them? It's a lot, and he doesn't have any social support. So, and he's noticing that guy. So what I see here is not a puppy that's fearful. I see a puppy that doesn't really know what to do with this and doesn't have anyone giving him any cues. I think if he had some social support, an older dog, his human family, whatever, to cue off of, I think you'd see a really different social response here. And just response to the environment in general. And that's a guess. That's hard to test. We can do like we did with the other puppy and have you come in after and then have Angie come in, so we sort of repeat this. But I'm very confident in my guess there.
He's doing really good with his litter mates. When they're around, he is, just feeds off them, like, off of Aura, like she's into everyone's face, and this guy is the second one.
I can totally see that. I think with social support, we would see a really different puppy. But it's good to know that he doesn't thrive without that. So when you're working with a puppy like this, you want to make sure that he does have that social support and that you're giving it to him and not throwing him into situations by himself. So like even with the groomer, I want to see what happens if I pick him up. It's probably going to overwhelm him, but if we establish a little bit more of a bond, he might come out of his shell a little bit more too. Like taking him to the groomer, I wouldn't leave him there by himself for very long until he establishes a relationship. Taking him to the vet, I would do a lot of happy visits. Short happy visits where they take him away from you, but briefly, and only after they've established a little bit of a relationship. And the reason I say that is because what I don't want with a puppy like this is for him to become overly dependent on that social support and not able to function on his own. So you're kind of balancing between giving him plenty of that support, but also asking him to occasionally do little bitty things by himself with people he has a weaker relationship with. So again, vet, take him in for a happy visit, take him in a couple of times. Once you notice he's pretty comfortable with the people there, then have one of the techs walk him into the back for 2 minutes and then come back or whatever. So he's not overly dependent on you, but we're not throwing him off the deep end of the swimming pool either. Groomer, same thing. Take him for a lot of happy visits and then have her take him back and brush him 5 times and bring him back. There's a lot of ways you can do that.
Is he tense?
He is tense, but he's also mushing into me. So that's why that's why I'm holding him this way. I'm giving
Yeah.
him plenty of opportunity to opt out. But I'm also trying to see if he does start to accept me a little bit, if I can then play with him a little bit more. And he is slowly relaxing.
Yeah, like he doesn't know what to do.
He doesn't know what to do.
Or if he can even opt out, for that matter.
Yep. And I don't know that he even knows what he wants to do. Like, do I want to opt out? Do I not want to opt out? Because every time I start, like, moving him away, he's like, no, wait, and pulls back. He's just very conflicted, and it's because he doesn't know. So he's going to have to be taught, but gently. This is a puppy also that would probably do great in a home with an older, confident dog.
Yeah.
That he could watch. And he's listening to all the noises in the building. Now I'm going to see what he does if I put him down. So I'm taking that away, and I'm just going to set him in front of me. Yeah. It's like, wait, can we come back? Can we go back to that?
I was not sure, but it was better than not.
Yeah. He's very sweet. He's gonna be very dependent on his handler, especially when he's a puppy, and I wanted to have that social support. I just want to emphasize that social support is not bad. We don't want to yank the rug out from under him by any means. We also want to encourage him to do some things on his own.
Yeah.
He needs both.
This is kind of also, I feel like, where we need to have a conversation about rewarding the fear.
Yes.
This puppy needs
that reassurance.
Yeah.
There's a lot of old school trainers that will tell you don't reward the fear. They'll use that phrase. And what they mean by that is they basically don't want you to reassure a fearful puppy. Or rescue a fearful puppy, or give that fearful puppy what that fearful puppy needs to not be fearful. And we'd want to do the opposite. This is a puppy that we want to reassure. We want him to feel socially supported. We want him to know he has that healthy attachment to his caretaker. The caretaker is a safe base. He definitely needs that. I would not worry about rewarding the fear with this one. With any dog, honestly, but particularly with this one. It's just that we want to encourage him to venture out from that. And set up situations where venturing out is pleasant and safe and something that he's okay with doing. And that is going to take some constructing of those situations. They're not going to happen organically very often. This is also a puppy that I would get out and about quite a bit, but I would not make him do anything there. I would just sit with him. He, I think, needs a lot of world watching, just observation. Because what we want is for him not to hit this shutdown phase that he's in right now. And again, he's not fearful. He doesn't know what to do. Another dog would help. A more confident dog would help. And experience will help as he gains. And that's why I say he needs a lot of world watching, a lot of experience. Because as he learns how to deal with things, he'll be fine.
It's almost like he wants closer to him, like he's interested, but...
He's like, I want to play with it, but I don't want to go over there. And I don't know. Nobody's showing me how to play with this thing. I don't know. Do I bite it?
Yeah.
Good boy. Good boy. And even my tone of voice when I said good boy, he picked up on that right away. Good boy. You want to play with this? Good boy. He says, no, not really. I don't know. I'm shut down now. I think he's also a puppy that once he shuts down, he's going to be really hard to unfreeze. But if we can keep him from shutting down in the first place, then he'll learn rapidly and become more and more confident. So again,
Would movement help?
That social, probably. You want to go for a little walk? You want to walk around this room? He'll either stay shut down and then be very upset because I'm abandoning him, or he'll come with me and walk it off. You want to come with me? Come on. Come on, puppy. Good boy. Good boy. he says, "Whoa, you went far away."
Yeah, but his energy also went up and tail went up, and he's like,
Yep.
okay, maybe we can move around.
We're getting him out of the freeze response. That's what I was trying to do with the ball, too.
You might like that, the little legs over there.
Which one?
The little drag toy with the octopus legs, I don't know what to call it, on top of the...
This thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is as interesting.
That's what we like.
I like the toy. Toy's good. Yeah, he's just gonna need to be worked through situations and not thrown in. Encouraged, shown what to do. If you want him to interact with it yourself.
Yeah. And reassure him that it's fine.
And talk to a happy, upbeat tone of voice. Reassure him it's fine, and don't shove him into it. Let him come out of his own shell. And he's also a puppy that if you don't have a great experience the first time, he won't come out of his shell. Take him out of that environment. Let him relax, let him decompress, let him sniff, and bring him back in it 5, 10, 15 minutes later and try it again. And you might get a really different result.
Yeah, right there, because we're seeing it right now. Like he's confident with you now, and he's going around and playing things. So maybe that having that floppy toy is his way of rewards and
and that can work too. I mean, literally, very literally. I've had puppies where I carried a small piece of fleece in my pocket when I would take them out in public to get them out of that freeze response.
Oh, look at him now.
Yeah. Yep. And it was because this worked for them, this was what they liked, and this would get them transitioned from thinking of the environment as overwhelming to thinking of it as play, and then that unfreezes them, and then they start experimenting, and then they learn, oh, this is how you deal with this.
Yeah, I think playing would be a good thing for him.
Yeah. Let's see how he likes the food. In here a little bit more. Ooh, that smells good.
And you showed him what to do, so now he knows that we can go for a walk and we can play with a toy.
We can play with a toy. And I was interacting with this, and I'm gonna have to. I had to show him the lid. He probably would have figured that out, but he wasn't really taking my.
Yeah.
Did you see how quick he did it? He wasn't taking initiative the first time, but once you show him, he's got it. He needs to be shown what to do in the world, and it's that fearful looking response was just like, I don't know what to do. Good job. I'm gonna be really interested to see what he does with this when his method is. He gives up. Not surprising. So when his method that he knew was going to work didn't work, he gives up and just goes off. And that was a avoidance sniff. That was a this thing's not panning out for me, so it wasn't because he was curious about the box. I think that really sums up everything about this puppy. Is just he's got to be shown what to do. He'll be fine. You just need to show him. Whoa, I can't get the bag open. I know. It's interesting stuff, but I can't get it open. There we go. What do you think about this? He's interested, but again,
not that much.
Not that much, not compared to the other puppies. And I think he's like, okay, that's cool. So, So this is not a dog that I would have high expectations as a performance dog or anything like that. He's not gonna be. Bye, Caroline. He's just.
He will be very attached to his people, but just needs very careful socialization.
Yep, very careful socialization and lots of it. Structured socialization. This one needs structure. And even if he has some dog friends that you can borrow to take with him out and about places, to be his guiding light and his buddy and show him what to do, I think that would be excellent for him as a puppy. This is also a puppy that I would recommend daycare for if there's a really good one that won't overwhelm him, that will slowly, and what you're looking for is a daycare that will take time to do a good introduction. The kind of daycare I'm looking for, you're not going to go to the first day and expect to leave the dog for any amount of time. They're going to want him for 15, 20 minutes. and then they're going to send him home, and you're going to have to do that a bunch of times. And the reason why is because they're going to be watching him to see when he's ready for more, and they'll give him more when he's ready for more, not before. So you may have to repeat intros multiple times. That's great for him. But I think he would do really well with daycare because he's going to learn social confidence from those other dogs if it's a properly managed one that won't let him be overwhelmed.
So how do you know it's a properly managed daycare?
The introduction process will tell you a lot, because a lot of daycares, their intro process is they come, make sure the dog's not dog aggressive, and then are like, great, and straight into the big group, and that's the end of that. What we're looking for is one that does intros, that will have you bring him out for a short period. They'll take him back in the back, they'll expose him to the environment, and then they'll bring him right back out, and then they'll give you an assessment of how he did. And then they'll repeat that as many times as it takes for him to be fully confident. And
so basically looking for daycare that's upfront says, well, it will take multiple introductions, not just like, we're going to see how he does with the dogs. Okay.
And, you can ask them, can you show me video of him interacting? And you can watch it and see, does he look increasingly confident? And you're not going to understand everything you see on that video, and that's okay. But you're wanting them to slowly introduce him rather than throw him in. And there are many daycares that will just throw him in, and that's going to be overwhelming for him, and he's going to shut down, and that's not what we want. And that will teach him to be afraid. We want one that's going to warm him up slowly.
Okay.
And then, again, I think he'll learn a lot from being in there with confident dogs. I mean, I think that's this puppy in a nutshell. We can do
now he's leaning into you and biting, or like your hand, or what is he doing?
He's licking.
Yeah, and he's totally, I can see that he's wiggly and loose.
Yep, he's wiggly and loose and really wanting attention. I'm going to do the as you can. He's like, you did that. Why? You did it with this hand right here. Why did you do that? That's noisy. What is that thing? But again, I show him. You can interact with it. This is the thing that's noisy. It's not fear. He's not afraid of that can. He just needs to be shown.
He's like, what made that noise?
Yeah, he's no fear of it. He just needed to be shown what the can was.
Kind of like not very smart.
Kinda. I mean, he's smart, but it's
not quick.
He's socially smart. He's not independently smart. He's not gonna solve problems on his own. See the difference? Shut down, freeze. I touch it. He's all about it. It's not fear.
Yeah.
It's not fear. It's I don't know what to do with this thing. Ooh, that's big
and he's looking at you, and then he's looking at that, and then he's like, okay, you're interacting with it. It's safe for me to interact with it.
You're pulling on that thing. I can grab and pull on that thing. Even though that thing's attached to the very, very overwhelming umbrella. So my point with showing that is, because I knew he would do that, I mean, look at that. He's smart, but he's socially smart. He's not independent. He's not a creative thinker. He's not going to go out and problem solve and figure out a solution on his own. He wants to be told what to do. That is going to make him a very biddable dog who is very inclined to do what you say. This is probably a puppy who's going to have a great natural recall, who's going to require very little formal training because he's just going to do what you tell him to do.
Yeah.
He's not an independent thinker. And that makes him a very easy dog to train and live with. The catch to that is you can't expect him to deal with situations on his own. Nothing comes without two sides of a puzzle. But he's a great little dog. He's fun. He's affectionate. He'll be super loyal to his people, and he's always going to look to you to know how to handle things. So as long as you're willing to give him those instructions and set up those learning experiences, so he is empowered to deal with the world on his own a little bit, because that's just healthy. He's going to be a really easy dog to live with. Not overly energetic, but not completely dead either. He really is taking those cues from me too. I mean, he's a great little puppy. It's just that one little thing. It's not a problem. It's just something you need to know about.
Needs time. Like, you have to respect what he is, and you have to take time. And show him what to do, and he'll be perfectly fine.